Hello guys, how are you? This is the build of my first wood ship, the Occre Albatros, the kit with the reference 12500. It's a laser cut wood, metal pieces, thread, cloth sails. It's a very good quality kit. Until now, I cannot see some mishaps on this kit. The cut is fantastic. It is a beautiful ship. I could have chosen a big one, but baby steps. So if I'm going to mess it up on something, might as well do on this small ship, which it has a reasonable size. It's very eye appealing, if you can understand me, and I really enjoyed building this kit. I'm really enjoying building it, and as you see on this video, which I hope you like, I am having a ball. The instructions are very detailed, and before starting, make sure you have all the support materials for the assembling of the model, okay? The instructions, step-by-step pictures with plans and templates printed to scale, okay? I advise you to prepare the material first in order to correctly identify the pre-cut parts. Before removing them from the wooden sheets, mark on them the same numbers that appear on the IP part identification sheet included with these instructions. My recommended glues are white or carpenter's glue for joining pieces of wood together, mainly used for gluing together the skeleton of the ship, quick drying glue, CA glue, for parts that are difficult to hold in their final position and need a bit of strength, and recommended for fitting small parts also. Contact or cobbler's glue for gluing into place the parts that are covered with fine wood veneer to set instantly. In all cases, always follow the manufacturer's recommendations, which is what I'm doing on this kit, guys. It's my first, so I'm using everything I do by according to the recommendations of Occre, except the first lining of this ship, but that's more ahead. And we start to assemble the hull structure by following the numerical order of the drawing. Before gluing the frames in place, make sure that they are correctly fitted into position, okay? Dry fit, dry fit, dry fit, guys. I'm always saying that. And their position is a booting up against the corresponding slots on the false keel, okay? I don't know if booting is the correct word, but I think you got it. It is important that the frames are completely perpendicular to the false keel. That's why I'm using a tool to watch it, to see it, to measure it. And for this operation, use white glue or carpenter's glue as the adhesive. we are doing the lining of this piece, working from the bottom upwards. I'm using contact glue or cobbler's glue, but then I thought white glue would be better. It's not as fast and as firm, but as an adhesive I had more maneuver time. So I started using cobbler's glue, but then stopped and used white glue. It allows me to better align the lining on this piece. And now we start the lining of the deck, working from the center outwards. We fit one strip next to the other until the deck is completely covered. For this operation I used contact glue or cobbler's glue. It was very interesting. Found the middle of the deck and started there. And then I have to remove all excess from those little indentations that are going to fit on the skeleton, you know, and removing all the lining from the mast supports and hulls. But I really enjoyed this one. I was always sanding the deck. I don't know, it was almost obsessive compulsive. I just used a very light sanding grade. And well, I enjoyed doing this one very much. And now we turn the deck over and we rest in it on a flat surface and we trim away the excess lining. simulate the planking effect and the caulking of the deck, I'm using a pencil and highlight the lengthways lines that mark out the edges of the strips of lining. Alternately, we mark out crossway lines every 100 millimeters or 10 centimeters. Finally, we pencil in dots next to the crossway lines to simulate the nails. I could have just placed some nails and cut it with a plier or something, but it was too much for this scale, and for me, I'm just a starter here, I'm a noob, so I go slowly. And here, well, a little mistake with the pencil, so a white rubber will erase it. If only we could do this in life. Would you do it? And now we glue the decks onto the structure of the ship. It is important here, don't forget it, that the decks should be correctly adapted to the top part of the frames and the false keel, okay? I used white glue, but for some sections I used CA glue or quick drying glue for this process to give it a bit of strength. And we cut the stern of this ship, of the Albatros. We lined it up with the upper stern using the lining. And with a cutter, we trimmed the excess of the lining. We used contact glue for that also. And I used a Dremel because when I wanted to fit the stern to the hull, as I told you, it's a wood ship, you have to adjust, and not always the pieces are going to fit on first run, okay? So it's trial and error. You have to, even though you sanded it previously and make it round and soft, sometimes you have to make it better. So it was a good opportunity to test and dry fit, and using that dry fit to start and adapt the piece to the stern. I'm not speaking too much because the video, the images speaks for itself. It's a very linear build, very pleasant. Just make sure that the cobbler's glue, or as we call it here, contact glue, it's dries at your touch. If you touch it and it's dry, if both pieces are dry, you may use it and the bond will be very strong. So I hope you are enjoying this video so far, guys. If you like it, please hit the button, subscribe, and the bell also. It would help enormously the channel. And this is the way. This is the way that Occre recommends. I'm jumping a bit, as you can see on the top left of the instructions, but very fun build. And now we glue the reinforcing shocks to the false keel. These shocks will have to be adapted to the main deck, okay? They will have to be sanded and very softened. You will see how I did it more ahead. I just sanded and sanded and sanded it. It is indeed a work of patience. So after sanding and before, you see the difference? It's getting softer. And now we, using water, try to bend a bit each bulwark with careful, okay? You will be able to see more ahead that it started to snap. It didn't break, but even so, I realized that this part was very fragile. It's a good thing that I started to do the lining of this bulwark after bending, okay? In this way I could cover that little crack on the wood. And so for now, this is what I've done. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until the next video, guys. And as always, keep modeling, guys. Keep modeling. Always, always with a smile. Cheers, guys. Until the next one.